All right. I think we're on the air.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning, my friends. Welcome to Mary Elizabeth Jones's Variety Hour.
Hey!
Starring my
Special guest star.
KAYE LAZAR.
KAYE LAZAR.
Okay?
Not so special today.
Yeah.
I don't usually do a morning show. It doesn't matter. It's the same show we always do, but but it's in the morning, so it's almost like Good Morning America or one of those shows or the Today Show.
Right.
I was actually at two of those shows. I was at Good Morning America and the CBS. I've never been. Well, I've been to the Today Show, but not with a group. And I never got on camera except for I think the CBS show, which had Harry Smith. But I was. But you know, it's cool if you want to make it in show business. Just go to New York in the morning. Go to Times Square to see the Good Morning America. You could go to Rockefeller Center to see the Today Show, and I don't know where you see the CBS show.
Yeah.
57th Street, I think.
Right.
But the first one was the best one, and what's really cool at the one at the Today Show is that you can't you can see it better on television than you can ever see it on television. You can see it better than you ever see it there because there's so many people there. Everyone, you're not the only one trying to get on camera. Everybody's trying to get on camera with their signs and everything.
Right.
And but sometimes they'll have a band playing, and I've seen a few. Some of those bands I never heard of. But the first time I went there, I was on an all-night bus from Richmond to New York, and then when I got out at like 7 or 8 in the morning, I said, "Oh, I can go to the Today Show."
Right.
So I just walked from the Port Authority to just a few blocks to Rockefeller Center, and then I saw Sting.
Sting.
Yeah, I didn't.
The police.
I didn't have to pay to see Sting. I just saw him for free.
Cool.
Like I heard him for free.
Right.
He did like a four song concert, and really that's all I wanted to hear from Sting. Who wants to hear 2 hours from Sting? Some people do. What else? So we're doing this is a morning show. It looks the same as we always do, but I guess we're doing a bit of it's the Christmas season. There's only about 30 more shoplifting days till Christmas. I don't know if anyone's buying anything lately. We got there's so much. I don't know if anyone's buying anything lately because of the nobody's working. So that's why we're doing this show to entertain all you people to keep you from working.
That's right. Yes.
So how have you? How are you? How are you preparing for the Christmas season, Mary?
I've been playing Christmas music.
Christmas music.
Yes, I got my Christmas records out.
Well, we'll talk about the Christmas music in a few minutes. Let me tell you about Christmas music. If you get one hit song, then if you're a performer, you will always have a job. Mariah Carey, pretty much her career had peaked, and we thought we'd never see her again.
Right.
And then she had the big hit, All I Want for Christmas Is You. And then when that happened, now she's invited every December to appear on all the talk shows to sing it. So, oh look, Mariah Carey again.
It's like repetition.
Yeah, Andy Williams. Some people are famous just for Christmas songs. Andy Williams, Bing Crosby. Who else? Mel Torme, Nat King Cole.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yes.
the Christmas song.
Yes.
And it's very hard to get a Christmas. Every major performer has a Christmas album, and I always wondered about what type of Christmas album I'd have, and I don't know if it would sell. It'd be so irreverent. The only person who would probably love my Christmas album is Melania Trump because she's not a big Christmas fan herself. It'd be a Christmas album for people who don't like Christmas.
I love Christmas.
Not that I don't like Christmas. It's just I'm trying to find that niche that could propel me to the top. There's so many pro-Christmas albums. I'm going to try to do an anti-Christmas, and then you'd play it every year as some sort of. But the Christmas season is great because One thing I love about the Christmas season, everyone's a little nicer to each other.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
You know, people, they don't say "get out of my way."
Right. Exactly.
People actually say, "Excuse me, get out of my way.
Right.
Move your big feet. I'm
Exactly.
trying to get through."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't wear a whole lot of Christmas clothes because then I can only wear them. I mean, I can't in the middle of the summer. I can't wear like a Jingle Bells outfit. But I think in the next few weeks you'll probably see more, a little bit more stuff. Because believe it or not, people do give me stuff, T-shirts and with Christmas, Merry Christmas on it. I have a few things up my sleeve, not up my sleeve, down my sleeve, down my back,
I'm wearing a
in my
Christmas
hat.
outfit now.
Look at that.
Yeah,
And that
isn't
is
it cute?
that
Yeah.
Rudolph?
Yes, it's Rudolph with like the little Christmas balls on his antlers.
Yes.
Or whatever. So,
Yes.
yeah. I got this at Rose's a few years ago.
Stand up and show us a little better. Yeah, I mean, just show. We don't need to see it. There you go. Look at that. Look at that.
Isn't that adorable?
It's a lovely bear with a red nose. Been drinking too much. Oh, it's a reindeer.
Yeah.
Yes, and then you have the antlers.
The antlers, the
Yeah.
little Christmas balls
Yeah.
hanging on them.
That's a great idea for. I should use Christmas balls during the rest of the year for my rabbit ears.
Right.
Might get better reception on my
Yeah.
television.
Right.
I still have to use rabbit ears.
Right.
I you know I don't make a commitment to television and cable television because I'm never at home.
Yeah.
Or pets or any of that stuff because I'm always out and about. Except for this year, 2020 is almost coming to a close, and hallelujah. It's anything to pray about is the end of 2020. I was telling somebody, you try to take pictures with people, and they're all wearing masks.
Yeah.
And usually when you go through your photo album or pictures on the internet, you say,
Right.
"Oh, was that taken in '92 or '93, or was that '96 or was that 2009 or 2010?"
Yeah.
You're going to see pictures with masks. I know when that picture was taken, 2020. It was pre-2020 and
Right.
post-2020.
Right.
Hopefully,
Right.
hopefully we'll all be healthy enough and post-2020
Yes.
to
Yes.
keep us going and everything.
Yes.
So I've been in Christmas mode and I just started because just recently we just got rid of Thanksgiving. What a wonderful holiday that was.
I had a good Thanksgiving.
Oh, you had a good Thanksgiving. Okay,
Yeah.
tell me about your Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I was over at a friend's house
Mhm.
that I was cooking, so I did.
Oh,
I did
okay.
a lot of cooking there, and they really enjoyed it. So.
All that hot boiling water everywhere probably killed all the coronavirus around you.
I love to cook.
They
So
love to cook,
I
yeah.
didn't mind it at all. So.
Now, what is your favorite dishes? We should do a cooking show
Yes. Yeah.
for the
We
Food
have.
Network.
Yeah, we have. I like streaming casserole.
Streaming casserole.
String beans.
String bean
casserole.
Yeah, we call it string bean castor oil at our house. But string bean casserole is
Right.
good, yeah. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
With the Funyun potato chips on the top.
Yeah. And I like stuffing
Stuffing is good.
and mashed potatoes.
Smashed potatoes. I like smashed.
Yes.
Mashed potatoes is everything is kind of
Right.
a paste that you eat at Thanksgiving.
Right.
You could almost put wallpaper up. It's sticky enough. Well, there's you mentioned I like the marshmallows. I think I mentioned this recently. I like the marshmallows but I don't like that orange pudding they put it in. What is that stuff?
Sweet potato casserole.
Oh, that's what it is.
I made that too, and I made
Yes.
marshmallows.
This-
It turned out really good.
But yeah, I'm sure everything at Thanksgiving is good. The marshmallows and the I was just joking. I know it's sweet potato casserole is and I don't want to tell that joke again. Okay, now sweet potatoes are I heard a funny story. The guy went to his wife sent him to buy some groceries,
Yeah.
and he said they didn't have any sweet potatoes. All they had were yams. Because that's what you were supposed to get. I'll be back. They didn't have sweet potatoes. They didn't have sweet potatoes for Thanksgiving. Sweet potatoes are actually it was Larry the Cable Guy who said that. Who I just saw recently on television. He's still funny. Anyway, so there was sweet potatoes, and I was at I remember years ago I was at a restaurant and they had something called sweet potato fries.
Oh,
You
love
like
those.
you like those?
Yes.
Well, okay. A lot of people love them, and let me tell you something. This is what happened to me with sweet potato fries. You know, you go to these fancy restaurants, you don't know what half the stuff is. They have a funny name to it and everything.
Yeah.
And they had sweet potato fries. Now I like French fries, which are potato fries.
Right.
Okay. So when I saw
right.
sweet, I didn't think of sweet potato fries. I didn't think of sweet potato fries. I thought of sweet potato fries. So I thought it was like a different type of French fry that they put sugar on or caramelized or something.
Yeah.
So I ordered the thing, and it was this sweet. I don't think sweet potatoes lend themselves well to the French fry style.
Right.
So I mean, people love them, but I think they put too much oil in them. I don't think they're wetter.
Yeah.
They're more moisture.
Right.
So I was eating these. And it's getting to the point where I don't want to eat anything fried anymore, except for French fries, and even those I don't even want anymore. You give me a boiled chicken or a rotisserie chicken, I like that because it's juicier and everything. But I went to a restaurant once and they had chicken tenders or chicken fingers. Now you know what everyone has them. And a fancy restaurant had chicken tenders. So I said, well, they said they're very good here. So I got them, and it was basically just a breaded, dried out husk with a little bit of meat in the middle. And there's a lot of breading and salty and greasy. And I usually like every meal I eat in the restaurant because I usually order pretty well.
Right.
I read the whole menu. I'm one of those people. I read the whole menu.
Right.
And then I'm out of practice because I haven't been to a restaurant in about a year.
Yeah.
It seems like a year.
Oh, Charlie's has some really good chicken tenders.
Actually, it was Charlie's house.
Oh, really?
We've lost our sponsor. No, Charlie's makes a lot of good stuff, but I don't think chicken tenders was so. I don't usually complain about food, but I actually somebody told me that if you're in a restaurant, especially one of these chain restaurants like Charlie's or something, you should complain about these things.
Right.
That you may get a discount on it. Says we'll give you the next meal for free. But if enough people complain that maybe the hamburgers don't taste so good or the French fries don't taste so good, then they will. They enough people say that they assume that when you eat your meal and pay your bill and tip them, that the meal is good. I mean, you don't have to be mean about it. Just say, could you make it better? And then try to be kind and say, I should have ordered the hamburger. I should have done, I should have done that. So anyway, but that was so now. But as a result of this, I don't really order chicken tenders in any restaurant now for fear that I'm going to get it Charlie-fied or Charlie fried, more like it. But I love chicken tenders.
Right, I like Chick-fil-A chicken tenders.
Well, okay. If you go to a place that you know how they taste, then they're probably going to be fine.
Yeah.
And and here's another advice about restaurants: don't order the wrong thing at a particular restaurant. Meaning that if you're in a steakhouse, don't order the fish and chips.
Yeah. Right.
If you're at a seafood restaurant, don't order the hot dog. They don't do the hot dog. They do the shrimp scampi and the I don't know. You go to a chicken place, get the chicken fricassee.
Right.
Don't get the pork tenderloin or something. They don't know.
The fricassee. What is that?
I know the fricassee. You go to an Italian restaurant, don't order the chop suey.
Right, right.
Get so
Yeah.
what they can do. You know. When I was living in Ireland, the Chinese restaurants. You know what Chinese food is.
Yes,
Imagine
yes.
so the people there did not like Chinese food. So but Chinese restaurants, there were quite a few of them, and they had Chinese food. But I actually asked once in a Chinese restaurant in Ireland. I said, "Do you sell a lot of? I mean, you sell a lot of this like chow mein or something?" And they said, "No, we hardly sell any of it. You're about the only one who eats this stuff." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, most people here eat like curry,
Oh.
and we have to make Indian style curry, and we sell mainly that."
Oh.
And so I said, "Well, I've never had curry before." I had it like the next time I was there. I didn't really care for it. Very spicy stuff, Indian food.
I love Indian food.
Indian food is different from any other type of food you eat. I mean, meaning that when you go to an Indian restaurant, in fact, most Indian restaurants don't sell other stuff. They don't sell the hot dog and the and the cheeseburger.
I
They sell Indian food.
like the chicken tikka masala that they serve
Yeah,
in
okay.
any restaurant.
That all
Yes,
it's all
yes.
it's all good in an Indian
Right.
restaurant.
There's this.
But yeah, go ahead.
Okay, sorry. There's this really good restaurant that sometimes I go to called Indian KAYE LAZAR.
Yeah,
It's off of Broad Street,
yeah,
and it's really good.
yeah. I hope they send us a free
They got
coupon
they got
for
a
mentioning them.
they got a good buffet there.
Yeah, yeah.
Around lunchtime. So
Yeah, but one thing about Indian food is that, yeah, it doesn't taste like any other type of food you eat. It's probably good because I think all that spicy
right.
they're probably got all this stuff like turmeric and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and saffron and all
Uh-huh.
that stuff they're all spices, and these, and I think they're good for you. Cinnamon.
Yeah. I love
Now
all
they
that
put all that
stuff.
stuff in pills, and you're supposed to take them and not eat them with food. And then they say, "Thank you, I guess." I remember I heard this advertised on the Larry King show a lot. It was garlic, where these
Right.
pills made of garlic. In other words, you could eat this stuff, but you didn't have to eat garlic on your food if you didn't like it. But the garlic was good for you. I mean, I don't know what it was good for.
Right.
It was probably good for your blood or something. So you would take this, but then your body still processed it like it was garlic, so it was coming through your pores anyway. So if you enjoy the taste of garlic, you got the side effects of garlic without really enjoying the the flavor of it. You just swallow it down with a glass of water.
Aw.
I see the craziest things with people. I mean, just the other day I had to buy some salsa for somebody,
Mhm.
and they opened it up. I'm not kidding you. You know how you eat salsa? How do you eat salsa?
I just like
What do you put with it or something?
I usually put like chips, with
Chips,
it.
okay, or a piece of bread or something.
Yes, yeah.
Triscuit. That's what I like.
Yeah, sometimes I just kind of like dip it into the jar,
Yeah,
but I don't.
like at a party, you
You
dip it in
know,
the jar or something.
yeah, I do it like different ways.
Well, the
Yeah.
person I bought this for opened it up and took a spoon and just started eating it. Thought it was a salad. Thought it was a spicy vegetable salad. I said, "Is that how you eat salsa?" He goes, "Yeah, yeah. You should try it." I said, "Well, what about the chips or the bread or the crackers?" And he said, "I don't need those carbs. Who needs those carbs?" I go, I'm only eating." He said, "I'm only eating the chip to get to the salsa. So why don't I just not eat the chip, which is no good for me?" One thing you'll never see in my house is chips. I steer
Yeah,
clear.
I
In
don't
fact,
eat chips much anyway.
someone told me about eating properly, and they say you should never eat your fork.
Ah,
And I said, "What do you mean eat my fork?" I mean like that metal thing with all the no, 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 no. Or eat your spoon. But he said eat your fork. I said, "What do you mean eat your fork?" Well, there are a lot of foods you eat, like chips or crackers, where you don't really need utensils. You just dip them and then eat them.
yeah.
He goes, "You're better off um, maybe you're better off just with the spoon and the salsa. Like I said, not eat the chip, not eat the bread, not eat, because all that stuff. I had a conversation with somebody recently about pizza. I love pizza.
Oh, me too. I love pizza.
And I really love pizza. And pizza is the only thing I really like to eat. And I can eat pizza every day and never get tired of it. But I gotta tell you something about pizza. I don't think the crust is all that healthy for you. You could have the sauce might be good, the cheese might be good, the meat, certainly the vegetables are good, the peppers they put on some olives. But then you have this crust, which is just I think as carbs go, I think pizza crust is probably the worst vehicle for carbs. That's why I always get the thin crust.
Yeah.
You know.
I like the cheese inside the crust.
Well, okay.
That's much better than just a plain crust.
Yeah, but there's enough cheese. If you put enough cheese on the pizza, you don't really need it in the crust. Well, how much cheese do we need?
I'm actually dying for pizza right now.
Oh,
I'm
God.
so hungry.
Well, I'd rather talk about food than eat it. Because I can't gain any weight just talking about food. So anyway, so then we started to talk about all the worst vehicles for crusts. And when you think about it, those like Andean pretzels.
Yeah.
Basically, that's a sort of like a pizza crust without any pizza on top of it. And you're basically just eating or breadsticks. It's basically just crust. In fact, when you were a kid and had a sandwich, like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, did you? My mom, I think I made a fuss one day, and she cut off the crust.
Well, I've always ate the crust. So.
Well, I think as you get older, you like the crust, but when you're a kid, you want to be difficult. You cut off the crust. There was this commercial when I was a kid for Crisco, where they wanted to show how good the Crisco was, and they would have a pot of it boiling on a thing, and then somebody would take a small loaf of bread and cut the crust off all four sides, and then dip with a fork or something, dip the bread into the vat of Crisco. And then they would open it up, and you would see, it would be brown on the outside, but it wouldn't penetrate. It didn't like soak through. It just went on the outside. But they never showed anyone eating that fried bread. I don't care for your dinner today. I just want. Do you have any more of that fried bread? Now, when we were kids, my mom made the biggest mistake of buying us for Christmas I think she got a yard sale, a snow cone machine.
Oh yeah.
And how it worked was it looked like a snowman.
Yeah.
It was like a toy, but it actually made pretty good snow cones actually.
Right.
And it came with like a little. Well, I don't think it came with any Kool-Aid or something, but you would have your mom make the Kool-Aid, and you would put the ice in his head, and then you'd crank out the crushed ice. It's basically just a crushed ice machine for kids. And then you'd put it in a cup or a cone or something, and then sprinkle the Kool-Aid on it, and then eat that. Well, after less than a week, my mom said, I've stopped making you Kool-Aid, and I've stopped letting you use the snow cone machine. I said, why? Because you're not eating your dinner. Every time you're hungry, you just make yourself a snow cone and eat that. And then maybe 3 hours later, you get another snow cone, Oh, the mashed potatoes and meat. I don't want any of that. Give me another snow cone. So that was my mom used to tell us all this junk about snow cones she hated. Like they would come with. Actually, snow cones is actually like the ice cream man would come in a truck.
Yeah.
And everyone would pester their parents to give them money. And you can always tell the rich kids because their kid they didn't care about their kids. They just gave them $6, $7, $100. Said buy all the ice cream you want.
Yeah.
Us we would basically had to beg for 35 cents or so whatever we could get, and you would always buy whatever amount of money you had. So you couldn't get anything better than the $1.50 or whatever you had, or $1.50. I don't know what it was. So, and it was always overpriced. You would do a better job going at the grocery store or something, or making your own. So they would have this ice and make a snow cones were usually the cheapest part. They weren't as good as the ice cream, but they were something. So we
Yeah.
would have the snow cone, and my mom would actually get so mad. She would try to tell us, that ice they use in the snow cone machine when they're making the snow cones. It's the same ice they put the dead fish on at the grocery store when you go to the seafood department.
Oh no.
The slabs with the fish's heads and the tail and the scales and everything.
Yeah.
That's the same. They you think they keep that ice? No, they have to make money on it, so they sell it to the cheap price to the ice cream truck, and then he sells it to you, and you eat it, and you love it, don't you? And I said, oh, I didn't know. And then my boss says, yeah, we love it. Give us some more money. We want to buy more snow cones. I don't give a darn how much fish, the fish oil that's on it. Yeah. So snow cones and so my mom, there's always a time in every neighborhood with lots of kids that the parents all get, even the rich parents,
Right.
they get together and they say we gotta drive the ice cream man out of this neighborhood because he's usurping our authority. As far as getting the kids to eat proper food, they just want to eat ice cream and snow cones all day. So they don't like the music. They don't like that merry-go-round music they always play. They don't. And then there's always the rumor that they sell drugs in those things. There's actually an episode of Adam 12 where they sell drugs. So after watching that when I was a kid, and after all this, what I just told you about the ice cream man. I got the idea that these were just drug pushers, like the Medellin cartel from Colombia. Oh, you like your ice cream, huh? We have another menu for kids your age you might like, and you can't buy this in any store. They never said that to me. They did say that once in Amsterdam. Marijuana is legalized in lots of America right now,
Right.
but the whole West Coast. But Amsterdam used to be like the only place, and so you go to a coffee shop, like a Starbucks type of place, and they would have all these coffees there, and you'd be drinking your little coffee with your pinky out and everything, and they'd look you over, and they'd say. And they'd actually hand you another. He says, "We have another menu you may like," and it's all the different types of marijuana and hash. And I don't know the Acapulco Gold and Sinsemilla, and these are the only ones I know. Panama Red and all this stuff. Panama Hat, Red. I don't know what but they, so they have
Yeah.
it there in Amsterdam. Now Amsterdam, I'm sure, is very upset with the rest of the world because the rest of the world is legalizing marijuana, and there's hey,
Right.
this is part of our tourism.
Yeah.
Why aren't people coming? There's the windmills and the wooden shoes and the and the tulips only get you but so far, and the Van Gogh and the Rembrandt and everything.
Yeah.
But that's I'm only telling you this because we may not be traveling for a while. So
Yeah. Yeah.
hopefully another cruise is on its way. We went on a cruise last year, so
Right.
but this year, gosh, we're seems like a year ago, almost a year ago.
Yeah.
So anyway, so you've been listening to lots of good music, huh?
Yes. Yes.
Hmm. And do you have any like favorite Christmas songs?
I like them all.
Mhm. They're all good.
Yeah, I like Santa Claus is Coming to Town,
Hmm.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, very interesting.
I like them all.
When
so.
you hear the Night Before Christmas on Dasher, on Prancer, yeah,
Yeah.
no Rudolph. So where's Rudolph?
I know.
So anyway, we have some Christmas albums,
Yes.
and for all you people, who've never heard Christmas music, we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
We don't have to sing it or play it because you probably already know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All Christmas albums, they're have almost all the same songs. If you notice,
Yeah.
I mean, and then you could always have a second one with that. But pretty much after the third Christmas album, a lot of people
Right.
like Bing Crosby and Andy Williams had
Yeah.
a few of them.
Yeah.
They pretty much exhausted the canon of Christmas songs.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Let's do the first one.
Mitch Miller, Holiday Sing Along with Mitch.
Yes.
Yes, this is a good album. This is actually one of my favorites.
Yes.
My grandmother had it, and it used to come with the sheet music. And we would all sing along with it as a family. So,
Yes. In case you don't know
yeah.
the lyrics to Jingle Bells.
Right.
They provided it to I could talk at length about Mitch Miller. Mitch Miller, here's what he looks like. And this man lived to be, I think, 99 years old.
Wow.
And I met him, he was 79. I met him, I mean, he was still around for another 20 years after I met him. And I met him in college. He he played with the Richmond Pops Orchestra. And I always loved his show when I was a kid. It almost taught you how to read because they would play popular songs and there would be the lyrics at the bottom and you'd sing along to them. Sort of like the show recently, Disney had a show last night about where you could sing along to the country songs. I mean, Christmas songs. Country singers were singing them.
Yeah.
And one thing I always thought was cool, he was one of the few people on television with this cool-looking jazz man's beard.
Yeah, yeah.
I found out about Mitch. For like many years, you didn't hear from Mitch, and then he was performing in concerts, conducting orchestras. He's a very good conductor, and he was actually the head of Columbia Records, A&R, whatever that is, and he. The talent, and he produced so many records during the 1950s and part of the 60s. He actually kept rock and roll from coming to Columbia Records. To this day, Columbia Records is still the most conservative of your major labels. There's no Columbia Records has they have tried and true singers. They don't have anything cutting edge or anything.
Right.
And they didn't even, in fact, he was involved in, they actually they overrode him in the early 60s when he was still there. And he didn't want them to sign Bob Dylan to Columbia Records.
Wow.
And because he saw no future in Bob Dylan.
Right.
But, he also, when he was running Columbia Records, they supposedly fired or didn't sign a contract with Frank Sinatra. This is when Frank Sinatra wasn't doing too well in the early 50s or late 40s. And supposedly they met like 20 years later at some sort of event. And then Mitch said, Frank's going to say, he goes, move along. You should have signed me 20 years ago. I mean, he was still mad about that.
Right.
So, and then he was eventually fired from Columbia Records. But, he still, he threw a lot of, all those Rosemary Clooney and all those Tony Bennett and all those Guy Mitchell and Marty Robbins and all that stuff from the 1950s. He produced a lot of that stuff and made it successful.
Right.
Sort of that but most people don't know him from what I told you.
Right.
Know him as maybe a conductor, or they know him certainly from the Sing Along with Mitch show. So anyway, when the concert was over, and it
Right.
ended with a sing along with Mitch because
Right.
they gave everybody lyrics in their program to
Right.
sing along. They knew the songs they were going to sing,
Right. Right.
and it was one of the greatest shows I think I've ever seen in person with
Right.
a symphony orchestra.
Yeah.
He played the Bolero by
Oh yeah.
Ravel, and he played the March Sloth by Tchaikovsky.
Oh, okay.
Pavane for a Dead Infant, sad song
Right.
by I think Ravel,
Right.
and then they had an intermission. Then they did the sing along, which was great. Sing along with
Right.
Mitch, and then after the show, I went to meet him, and he was so nice to me.
Oh, wow.
And I had I don't have any photographs of him, but I have a Super 8 of him actually talking to me I'm behind the camera, and he says and he actually said say hello to all my friends in Charlottesville. I was living in Charlottesville at the time.
Aw.
I came home to see him,
Aw.
and Charlottesville
Aw.
meaning my college people.
Yeah.
And then Mitch Miller's Jewish or was Jewish. He's dead now, but Mitch Miller was. I told him my name was Kravitz. He goes, I have relatives named Kravitz. How about that?
That is so
Oh wait, my name is not Kravitz. KAYE LAZAR. It's my real name. All right, and but Mitch, it was so nice to meet Mitch. Yeah.
Yes, this is a good album.
Yes.
Oh my
His
God.
big hit on that album is the typical Christmas songs, but I think the song is "Must Be Santa."
Yes,
Must
that's
be
my favorite out of the album.
Yeah, that's like his only like original hit. Maybe his only original hit.
Right.
Yellow Rose of Texas was a hit for him,
Yeah,
not a Christmas song. But I thought it was funny that when Bob Dylan finally recorded a Christmas song, he sang a Mitch Miller song, "Must Be Santa."
Right.
You don't really think of Yuletide greetings from Bob Dylan.
Right.
Must be Santa, must be Santa.
Right.
So here we go. So that was great. Thanks for showing us
No
Mitch
problem,
Miller.
absolutely. The Sinatra Christmas album.
Oh yeah.
This is a really good one too.
This is really good. Read off what he sings on here.
He sings Jingle Bells.
Mm-hmm.
Jingling bells. That's the one he sings.
Yes.
And then the Christmas song.
The Christmas song.
Mistletoe and Holly.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be home for Christmas.
Yes.
The Christmas Waltz.
Mm-hmm.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Yes.
The First Noel.
Mm-hmm.
Hark the herald angels sing.
Yes.
O little town of Bethlehem.
Yes.
At this day Fidelius.
Yeah.
And it came upon.
That's the
Call You
Joy
Faithful.
Faithful. That's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
It
The
came-
Latin version.
Yeah. It came upon a midnight clear
Mm-hmm.
and the silent night.
You see, if you notice all the songs you mentioned, not all of them, but most of them, maybe not Jingle Bells, but all the other songs are very, downbeat songs,
Right.
serious songs. They're not
Right.
the typical fun songs of Christmas.
Yeah.
The Christmas carols. There's a difference between songs and carols. The songs are popular.
Yeah.
Well, and they're usually about Santa Claus and about gifts giving and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the ones about the birth of Jesus and
Right.
everything, they're carols.
They're beautiful.
A lot of people do not. There's some religious people that don't when during the Christmas season do not want to hear any popular songs. They only want to hear the carols. The carols have stood the test of time.
Right.
Some of them are hundreds of years old.
Right.
So people are still singing them. A lot, we sing like Silent Night in
Christmas
English.
Eve service.
Yeah, but actually, a lot of them were not written in English. That's the
Right.
Fidelis, Come All Ye Faithful.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
First Noel.
Yeah. So.
German, French songs.
Right. This is a good album. So,
Yes.
The Sinatra Christmas album.
Sinatra. I've spoken about Sinatra many times.
Right.
I got to see him his last performance in town. And he left it with a bang. He fainted at the end of it.
Yeah.
But Sinatra, yes. But it was so exciting to see Frank and everything Frank did. There are certain performers. I think they said this about Al Jolson and Mel Torme and people like that. They said they always sang.
Right.
Every time they sang a song, they sang it a little differently each time. You never sang the song the same way twice. But actually, when you think about it, you never sang anything
Right.
the same way twice.
Right. Exactly.
But Frank and a few people, Frank and
Yeah.
Nat King Cole and people like that, they figured out the one perfect way to sing a song, and then pretty much whenever they were called upon to sing that song,
Right.
they sang it that way all the time.
Right. Right.
And so a lot of these, a lot of he had a very good. He started off a tenor, and then he became then he became a baritone. This is on Capitol Records, so this was made in the 1950s. I mean,
Yes.
recorded in the 1950s with
Right.
Gordon Jenkins.
Right.
And this is a if you want like serious Christmas music by a popular entertainer that you
Right.
would like, this is the way to go.
Right.
There we
Right.
go.
The Sinatra Christmas albums, good ones.
Hmm.
This one is a really beautiful album.
Yes.
This is by Mahalia Jackson.
Yes.
Silent Night. She sings all these these good Christian Christmas songs, like you're in
Read
church.
read them out. Or
This
read a lot of
one-
them out. Yeah.
This one is says, "Sweet little Jesus boy, a star stood still, song of the nativity.
Hmm.
Hark the herald angels sing. Christmas comes to us all once a year. Joy to the world. Oh come, all ye faithful. O little town of Bethlehem. What can I give? Go tell it on the mountain, and silent night, holy night."
Yes. Yes. Well,
So,
Mahalia Jackson was. You know a lot about her?
yeah, she was a popular gospel singer back in the 50s and 60s.
Yes, she was very popular.
Yeah.
You could actually, she was on all the popular shows in the day, like the Ed
Imitation
Sullivan
of
Show.
Life at the end.
Yeah.
Imitation of Life. She was in that movie.
Oh yeah, she's a sometime actress. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mahalia Jackson was something else. She was first time I ever saw her was on Sesame Street singing.
Oh.
You got the whole world in his hand.
Yes.
I think that was
Yes.
one of her
Yes.
big hits. But Mahalia Jackson was. She's also years later. I didn't know she was in it until I saw the movie.
Right.
I'm a big jazz fan. She's in the what was that movie about the Newport Jazz Festival? That famous movie, and she's in there singing gospel songs.
Oh, okay.
And but if you want like serious, this is a serious Christmas album.
Yeah.
Mainly, her carols actually border on being hymns.
Right.
So a
right.
carol and a hymn, not all that
Right.
different. Some one carol is sang at Christmas.
Right. Right. Right.
A song at Christmas, yeah. So
Yeah.
Mahalia, and yeah, it's a very good album. And on Columbia Records, Columbia, like I said,
Yes.
Columbia Records had all the
Yeah.
serious,
Yeah.
not really cutting edge stuff, but
Yeah.
tried and true.
Like
And
the
to this
rich,
day, yeah,
made songs.
yeah. A lot of performers on Columbia Records in recent years are people
Right.
like Michael Jackson and who else? Michael Bolton, all the Michaels.
Yeah.
Mariah
Actually,
Carey.
yeah.
They always, I mean, it's always, used to have Simon and Garfunkel.
Right.
Stuff people who
Yeah.
who before they get on the punk rock labels or something,
Yeah.
they drift towards Columbia Records and then they move towards everything.
Actually, Michael Jackson was Epic.
No, Epic is Columbia Records.
Oh, I didn't know that
Yeah,
was
it
the
was,
same
yeah.
thing. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Look at the bottom of the labels. They always say
Oh.
a part.
Okay.
Now it's not even Columbia Records anymore. It's Sony
Yeah.
Records.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how. I don't. Be honest with you, I don't really know how music is today because
Right.
I don't know what popular singers are on what labels.
Right.
But it used to be very. I mean, people would. In fact, let me tell you about record labels that are kind of interesting,
Yeah.
Mary. Like sometimes you'll. Like for example, this happens in country music all the time. Willie Nelson was for many years on Columbia Records, and he would sing with have a duet album with people like Ray Price or somebody,
Right.
Merle Haggard. Well, they were also on Columbia Records.
Right.
It was an easy way to get them together. It was like
Right.
a package deal
Right.
to have them
Right.
on there.
Yes.
Johnny Cash, and then eventually a lot of these guys get because they get old and the record labels, the major labels don't want them anymore, so they get fired. And they have to, they get dropped from the label. We're going in a different way. You're not selling very well.
Right.
So then they go on to independent labels and more interesting labels. And then they pair up with other people from those labels.
Right.
So, but that if you actually look at the labels, you find it's all a business
Right.
and a cutthroat business it is.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
So I knew this when I was a DJ. Um, there were certain labels that actually paid, not me personally, but paid the owner of the station to play the music on the radio. You always wonder why certain songs get played on the radio. Well, they get paid, and it's against the law.
Right.
And then did the career of art of Freed, whatever that guy, Arthur Freed, whatever the guy was, not Arthur Freed, the guy that made American Hot Wax about. He, yeah, the guy who created the rock and roll, and he, the term rock and roll. These, always try to search. Luckily, with the internet, labels don't really matter so much, and the record companies are all out of business now, or they're not. They're struggling if they're not out of business because they weren't really doing their. It was a business. They weren't really helping their performers out. When people started recording albums and bootlegging albums and all this stuff, the labels actually went to the performers and said, "Why don't you do something? Tell the people to buy your records instead of making recordings of it on CDs or on cassette tapes." And in many cases they said, "Hey, I barely make any money from from our record deal." One guy actually retired from making music of George Michael. They had to pay like Columbia Records $100 million to get him out of his contract because he had this lifetime deal with the Faustian deal with the devil that he signed for many years. Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, yes, you can put that down.
Yeah, this is a good album.
Yes. So what happened was, so they said, "Hey, I make all my money from my concerts.
Right. Yeah.
Let the people record the music. The guys who actually create, you're making all the money, not me. I only make money when I go out and on the stage and perform."
Yeah.
A lot of these guys actually, after a while, figured out once you could burn your own CDs and put your own label on them, they would sell them at their concerts, and they would make more money that way than actually, go to the record stores. That's why you don't really see record stores anymore.
Right.
When was as they say in the movie The Social Network, when was the last time you were in a Tower of Records? Yeah. Exactly.
Yes, I grew up in going to Sam Goody.
Sam Goody. Well, a lot of these places were the places you hung out.
Right.
Sam Goody, Harmony Hut, all of them, Tower Records.
Yeah, Tower Records.
They're great. They're great. Yeah. The only place you could actually buy CDs on a big scale right now is at Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
But does anyone still buy CDs anymore?
I don't see many people in that area getting CDs. So.
People burn CDs on their computer from the internet. They might even buy them off iTunes or something, but they don't really have to do that. But you could do it yourself. You could be a performer yourself and burn it yourself and then sell it that way on the internet. And in a way that's a better way, because now instead of record companies paying radio stations to play music they think you're going to like, so it gets in your head and everything. Now it's done that, enough people like this song. It's enough people are going to show their friends this song, and it's going to be a big hit that way.
Yeah.
I don't even know how it used to be the record that sold the most either LPs or 45s was the number one song that week. But I don't even know, they don't sell 45s anymore. They barely sell CDs anymore. What's the number? How did they decide what the number one song is now?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's see what's next.
All right. This is Tennessee Ernie Ford, The Star Killer.
Oh, Tennessee Ernie Ford.
That's a good album too. So.
Yes, he was. Most people know him as a religious. He sing hymns. Yeah. He was a very lot of his best albums. He's singing hymns. He used to have he's had a few TV shows. He had the Ford Show in the early 1960s, where he was a very funny man and very likable guy, affable. He would tell jokes and he would do skits, and then he would sing. He had a lot of popular songs. Most popular song, maybe of all time. One of the most popular songs of all time is 16 Tons. He's still known for that. But if you get any of his greatest hits albums. Just he has such a good voice, has a deep voice,
Oh
and it's
yeah,
very
yeah.
resonant. And he'd always end the show with a religious song. So yeah, it's only a matter of time he'd do a
Right.
religious Christmas albums. Tell us the songs that are on here.
Yes.
Yeah,
We got Joy to the World,
yeah.
A Little Town of Bethlehem, Oh Holy Night,
Hmm.
The Star Carol,
Hmm.
Hark the Herald Angels Sing,
Hmm.
Some Children See Him, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, or Hearken Ye,
Hmm.
Estes Fidelius,
Hmm.
the First Noel,
Hmm.
Sleep My Little Lord Jesus,
A lot of songs on it.
We Three Kings, It Came Upon Midnight Clear,
Yeah.
and Silent Night.
So yes, all carols, like as it says in the
Yes.
title,
Yes.
Star of Carol. Now,
Yes.
do you know anything about? Have you ever seen him perform on television or anything? An old, he's been dead a long time. He's been dead, I think, probably since the 1990s or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him one time, at an advertisement
Oh, for the biscuits,
for the,
Martha White biscuit mix. I mean, that was his. That he made.
oh
He was
wow.
the spokesman for this biscuit mix you could buy, like
Mm,
Bisquick, Martha White's,
right,
and but he had a very high. He was very high likability. I knew this guy that performed in Las Vegas. I mean, he wasn't famous, but he would perform in Las Vegas as the warm up for a lot of performers. And I said, "Who's
right.
the nicest guy in Las Vegas?" And he said, "Tennessee Ernie Ford."
Huh?
Made no. He said, "Very nice guy." He
Yeah,
says, "What do you mean he's a nice guy?" I said, "Well, he goes. I go hunting with him. I go fishing with him. He's a very good
right,
outdoorsman, and he's
right.
always in a good mood. He was always." And yeah, and I'd never heard the first bit of scandal with Tennessee Ernie Ford, and he was funny. He was also a very funny man. He's on a few episodes of I Love Lucy that are
Oh
very funny.
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
At Beverly Hillbillies, I think he was on there too
Right,
a few
right.
times. I mean, he was see through every time because he had a southern accent. You
Yeah,
didn't hear it when he was singing. When he was singing, he had a very deep, almost like a baritone. No, not even. Almost like a basso profundo voice, like
right,
the guy from the Oakwood. But
right.
he had a very deep, really fine singer, Tennessee Ernie Ford, and he's one of those type of singers that if I could sing, that's the type of singer I would like to sing
Right,
like.
right,
I can only speak like this. I can't really sing like this.
right, right, right.
But Tennessee Ernie Ford, oh, it was so good. Sometimes he's called
Yes.
Ernie Ford, but he's Tennessee Ernie Ford. What are we talking about?
Yeah, because I think he was from Tennessee. That's why.
That's right.
So
That
that's his
yeah,
nickname.
yeah.
Yeah,
New
yeah,
York Ernie Ford.
yeah.
You go in the phone book and find a guy named Ernest Ford in the Bronx phone book. Well, I'm New York Ernie. That's Tennessee Ernie. Don't confuse us.
Right.
He's the one. He was the millionaire, but I'm still alive. So
Yeah. Yeah.
he's the millionaire singer. All right. What do we got now?
You will
Oh,
love this one. This is
yeah.
one of my faves
This is the.
too.
All right. Let's see. What's this?
The Carpenters Christmas
Oh, yes. The
Orchid.
Carpenters. Yes.
Yeah, this is a great album. Yes.
Didn't they have a hit Christmas song?
Merry Christmas, darling.
Yeah, I
It's
think they.
on here. It's
Yeah,
on
I
here
think
too.
they. That was one of the songs that clicked. And sadly, Karen's no longer with us, but for many
Yeah.
years. But first major victim of anorexia starved herself to
Yeah.
death, which is very
Yeah.
sad.
I know.
In those days, people weren't all that heavy, so when you saw
Right.
her, she just looked like a thinner version of everyone else. But now,
Yeah.
sadly, people are heavier now. So you look at
Right.
the old videos, and man, she was like a skeleton. It was terrible. I
Right. I
mean, she was
know.
literally starving herself, and
Yeah.
but her brother is her brother played the piano, and
Yes.
what was his name?
Richard Carpenter.
Richard Carpenter. Yeah, I
Yes.
didn't know his
Richard.
first name, and because she did the great singing, and he was like the producer
Right.
and played fine piano. He sang too,
Yes.
but
Yes.
he
He was kind of
performed.
like a backup sort of,
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah.
she was the real
Right.
talent, and I mean they're both
Yeah.
talented, but she was the
Right.
one that people
That did it more.
that
Yeah.
that
Right. Yeah.
made the group, and
Exactly.
They had so many good songs
Yes, they
and
did.
in the day.
I
And
also have another album of the Carpenters that was like, it's not Christmas, but it's regular music.
mhm. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, they have the Christmas album,
right.
and the Carpenters. I don't have much to say about the Carpenters because sadly, they were very popular. Critics didn't care for them very much, and it shows you how little critics know.
Right.
Now, sadly, since they're not a group anymore, and when they play the 1970s, everyone likes to talk about how cheesy the music was in the 1970s. But the Carpenters are now considered a great, great song stylists,
Right.
um, and we miss them a lot, and even the
Right.
critics miss them.
Yeah.
They used to be
Yeah.
a punching bag for the critics, and now
Right.
there's sort of a view in music criticism or film criticism that if it's popular art criticism, if it's popular, then it must not be very good.
Yeah.
But then when you look back on stuff and what was popular, a lot of that is very good. So,
Yes.
and the Carpenters sadly kind of fell into that hole there. So,
Right.
but in their day, but they were popular. So, as they say, they were probably uh, laughing all the way to the bank. But
Right. Right. Yeah.
the Carpenters first came around. So why are they called the Carpenters? Well, that's their name.
Yeah. Duh.
We thought they had something. And also the Carpenters, were they married? Were they boyfriend and girlfriend? No, they're brother and sister.
Yeah.
Maybe nobody knew. I kind of like it when when bands kind of
Right.
or when celebrities kind of keep a little mystery about them. Once
Right.
they become popular, then all the mystery's gone because they have to give interviews and people ask them the questions and everything.
Right. Right.
And
Right. Yeah.
what are the songs on here?
Yes. O Come, Emmanuel. Then they got the overture like Deck the Hall, I Saw Three Ships, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, Away in a Manger, What Child Is This?
Oh yeah.
Carol of the Bells, O Come All You Faithful.
Mhm.
And then the Christmas Waltz,
Mhm.
Sleigh Ride, It's Christmas Time, Sleep Well Little Children, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas,
Yes.
Santa Claus is Coming to Town,
Yes.
the Christmas Song, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire,
Yes.
Silent Night, Jingle Bells, First Snowfall, Let It Snow, Carol of the Bells, Merry Christmas Darling, of course,
Yeah.
I'll Be Home for Christmas,
Wow.
Christ is Born, Winter Wonderland, Silver Bells, White Christmas, and Ave Maria.
Well, Ave Maria, they end with that. Wow.
Yeah, this is a
They
good
they
album.
they the only song they don't have, only Christmas song they don't have there is "Baby It's Cold Outside," and I guess a brother and sister is not going to sing
Right, yeah, of course.
that.
Yeah,
Speaking of "Baby Cold Outside," in my day was never a Christmas song. It's only because it's cold that it became a Christmas song. Now it's become a standard Christmas song.
right.
But gosh, that has almost everything
Yeah, so
you
it has
want from
like every single
what they
Christmas
do for
song
a
about.
sequel. They didn't.
Yeah,
They said, "We done it all. We don't." But every major performer had a Christmas album somewhere in their career, so they could always trot it out and put it out there.
right, right,
Most popular songs. Let's face it, are Christmas songs.
right.
I got the show called. I'm only on page 2, and and the show's almost over. Can you, like, next time we do this type of show, you have other Christmas albums we could listen to or talk about?
Yeah, I got.
I would save it.
Yes,
We'll talk about it then, because if you get me talking about Christmas songs.
right.
Now, so anyway, enjoy the first. This is our first Christmas special.
Yes, our first Christmas episode.
You know how Bob Hope or Bing Crosby always had a one Christmas show a year. Forget about it. We might have a few of these before the month is over. So, what do you have to say to your big fans out there? To my 11 fans out there.
Yes. I just want to say, may God bless you all, and I hope you all have a wonderful day today.
Right on.
And we love you all.
Except for that guy out there. I'm not so crazy about him. All right. You're watching the Mary Elizabeth Variety Hour. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. God bless.